on, girl, let's scream.
I am a god.
No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel. This is the part where you run.
Come on, scream.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Scream, a podcast where we dive into our favorite horror movies. I'm Stevie.
And I'm Parker.
Today we are looking at 1985's Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, directed by Danny Steinman.
Join us as we journey to Pinehurst Youth Development Center and learn all about them damn enchiladas. Are you ready to scream, girl?
Come on, girl. Let's scream.
Okay, so
You suggested this movie.
we're doing Friday the 13th Part 5. The reason why is that it's my favorite Friday, and we were like, oh, what's another, like, kind of summer camp? Should we do a Friday the 13th movie to kind of coincide with this whole series we've been doing for our podcast? I said, we should do Part 5.
Yeah.
Because it's the most crackhead. It's the stupidest one. It's the funniest one. I find most of the Friday the 13th movies pretty boring, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of the same.
Yeah.
But this one has, like, all these, like, weird background characters and, like, townies that
Get
are
introduced just to get killed.
Yeah, but, like, that's every Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
But this one's special because you can tell the director did not give a fuck what these people did. And, like, there
are some moments where I'm like, they were told to improv. They're just saying shit.
So,
Especially in the first scene when we get into it.
Yeah. But the director is Danny Steinman, who was a porn director before this. And you can tell.
You can tell.
Apparently, all he cared about was that all the actresses had big tits. He cared about the sex scenes, which are pretty gratuitous. And other than that, he really did not give a shit what you did if you were an actor on this movie.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's why I love it so much. It has a special place in my heart because we're just seeing actors just camping it the fuck up, having no script.
Yeah.
Making up bullshit. And it's amazing because even though, they're there to get killed, they're cannon fodder, just like all the other background characters in Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
They at least have fun shit to do, and you're, like, entertained. Whereas in a lot of the other Friday movies, I'm just like, okay, like, who is this? Oh, they're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
This one, it's like, what the hell is this person up to? Like, and I love it.
Yeah.
I would say it's not a good movie.
No.
But I don't know how.
No.
I don't know if you're looking for.
If you're looking for a think piece, if you're looking for something with deeper meaning,
then
this is not the movie for you.
And neither will any of the other movies in this franchise. Just in case you've never seen any of the Friday the 13th movies. They're not really for me.
Yeah.
But
you like this one.
I do really appreciate this one. So that's why we chose this one. And also, you don't really need to see any of the other ones before Part 5 to appreciate this movie because it's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
They don't really go with this continuity afterwards. They retcon it out of the franchise pretty much going forward.
Oh, yeah.
So you can just kind of enjoy this one in a bubble and laugh at it. And that's the kind of vibe I appreciate.
Yeah.
All the actors, again, like, they make this movie.
Yes.
They do such a great job.
Absolutely.
So much great improv going on. Some good special effects with the kills. It kind of reminds me of Sleepaway Camp 1. And then, like, it's got some good practical effects for such a low budget.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of the kills are just kind of off screen, the ones that we do see are still pretty good.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. It's kind of a shit movie other than that, but I love it.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's on Max.
Yep.
This is my first time watching it. I liked it. It's fun. It's not my favorite. Because we just watched my favorite.
We just did your favorite.
So, I'm sorry this one was put in a very diabolical situation.
Yeah.
So
nothing can outdo Sleepaway Camp 2.
But I like this one. There was funny moments. I they kind of dragged on a little bit at points.
Yeah, it's a Friday the 13th
Sometimes I'm
movie.
like, okay, wrap it up.
Well, we should also say, which other Friday the 13th movies have you seen?
I've only seen the remake.
That horrible remake.
That's the one I've seen.
I hate it. So, that's what we're dealing with here on this podcast.
Yeah.
But, well, if you've never seen Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, and you don't want to get spoiled, go give the movie a watch, and then come back and get into our plot summary. Are you ready to scream, girl?
Come on, girl. Let's
scream. Okay. So we start on a stormy, dark night. We see a young boy in a yellow rain jacket and
Coraline.
glasses. Giving Coraline
Coraline.
vibes. Giving Coraline vibes. This is Tommy, who we know defeated Jason when he was a little boy in part 4. And he sees some punk kids appear. And they are standing by Jason Voorhees' grave. And he watches them as they dig it up, and they pry open the coffin. Oh my god, Jason comes to life.
And he kills both of them.
Machetes
But
them.
this was a part well, you could tell it was a porn director because the way these boys are digging it up. They're like, oh, let's pry it open. Oh, come on, Ben. Oh, yeah, Ben, get it.
Everything
oh.
is kind of horny in this movie.
It's like,
yeah.
what are they doing?
Also, I like that
And this is a scene you could tell they're improv because they're like, oh, come on, dig faster, oh, faster, come on, faster.
I'm convinced there was no dialogue written down for this movie.
Yeah. Oh, pry it open. Oh, yeah, pry it open, babe. Oh, yeah. Just like that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so tight. Let's make it looser.
That's basically what's going on.
And I love how Jason is buried 2 feet underground.
Yes.
And he was buried with his machete in his hand.
And his mask.
Yeah. And he machetes them, and then he approaches young Tommy, and he raises his machete. But it was all a dream. And we see...
Wow.
And we see our main character, question mark? I don't know. Tommy, now that he's, like, older, I guess he's in his, like, 20s now. He wakes up.
He is.
He's in the back of a van being transported somewhere.
We also get these, I think they were making for movie time, trying to fill the void, because this movie drags on a bit. The opening credits are over a black screen. And it goes on for like a few minutes.
That's every Friday the 13th.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we get the iconic opening credits that happen at the beginning of every Friday the 13th. The black screen, the kind of Helvetica font, and that really iconic score.
Yeah.
Which I always do like. I think Friday the 13th has a really cool score.
Yeah.
It's scary and spooky. And we see Tommy being driven by mental institution workers to a special camp. Or it's more of like a halfway house. Called Pinehurst for people with severe mental disorders and PTSD.
Yep.
He is greeted by a blonde lady, Miss Pam, who is kind of the, I don't know, like vice president of this
She's like the mom of the house.
She's like the house mother, yeah. And she shows him around. She's super nice. They meet with the camp owner named Matt, who is a doctor, I guess. He welcomes them to the camp, but Tommy is completely unresponsive. Clearly still haunted by his trauma from encountering Jason in the past movie. So they show Tommy to his room. He pulls out like a switchblade knife from his backpack.
Yep.
So he can defend himself if ever Jason was to
return.
And he goes to his closet and a big fake spider swings out. And we meet his new roommate, who is this little boy, Reggie the Reckless, he calls himself. And I thought this kid was so cute and so funny.
Yeah.
He's like one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Yeah, he's a cute little kid.
He's just a little sweetheart. Tommy turns around and jump scares him. And he's wearing an alien mask. And, okay, I had to, like, remind myself, because I hadn't seen Friday the 13th Part 4 in a while.
Yeah.
But when Tommy was a little kid, his whole thing was that he made special effects masks
Okay.
And was like, that was like his thing.
Okay.
But they don't remind you of that in this movie. And I just thought it was really random that this guy has literally backpacks full of like random masks.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's your
Okay,
thing.
I didn't know that, so thank you. I was so confused. I just
if you hadn't
I guess
known,
he makes
it's like,
masks.
it's
Don't
like,
worry, y'all.
okay.
It does not come back into play.
It's like, okay, that's your thing, I guess. Okay, freak. But then Reggie says that he's here because his grandpa works at the camp. He's not like them. One of the, what does he say, like freaks or nutcases or something?
Nuts.
Yeah. A cop pulls up, sirens blaring, demanding to talk with the camp owner, Matt. We learn that 2 of the camp patients were found having sex.
They were fornicating.
Fornicating, as Angela from Sleepaway Camp 2 would say. They're having sex on this woman named Ethel's private property. And then we meet the icon of this movie.
I loved her.
Miss Ethel.
Miss
She pulls up.
Ethel.
She's on the back of her son Junior's motorcycle. And we get this amazing interaction. Can you be the cop? I want to be Ethel. I know, but come on. Please.
Morning, Ethel. Don't you look lovely?
Horse shit. Sheriff, you better hear me good. I want this loony bin closed down, you hear? These kids ain't nothing but trouble. They disrespect property and they're crazy.
You tell him, Ma.
That's Junior saying that.
These kids weren't doing?
Doing? Do you think I don't know what these 2 perverts were doing in my yard?
Say it like you mean it, Ma.
She turns to her son and she goes, would you shut the fuck up?
Would you shut the fuck up?
I'll tell all of you. You mark my words, the next bastard comes near my farm, I'll blow your fucking brains out. You hear me? Don't you come near me. Sheriff, I warned you. I got a bomb on me.
I got a bomb on me.
And she committed to it, too. Like, you gotta see her hesitate, like, am I gonna go there? And then she just straight up is, like, does a bomb threat, bitch. Yeah, I got a bomb on me. I swear to you, make one more move toward me, I'm gonna blow us all up. Start the Indians, Junior. And then as she goes off,
She gives the
flips
cop
him
the
off.
finger.
And it's like the smarmiest little middle finger I've ever fucking seen.
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
And don't worry, we get more of her.
We do get more of her. I love her look. Like, apparently the actress brought her own wig to set. She was like, I want to wear this wig. And her makeup and, like, her whole look is the result of the actress going out in the field and rubbing her hands in the dirt and just wiping the dirt and the mud all over her face. Because she looks so dirty. I love her. I love her. I love shit like this. Again, thank God this director did not give a shit about this movie because this is just amazing. This is amazing.
What? You don't think this is life work as magnum opus?
We meet a character named Joey, who is mentally handicapped, and he's got these chocolate bars. He's going around, he's trying to, like, be useful, and he's trying to get the girls' attention while they're doing laundry, and they get shitty with him because he wipes chocolate all over the clean sheets, trying to help. But they're like, oh, piss off. Go bother somebody else. So then Joey goes to talk to this guy named Vic, who is just chopping wood so aggressively for no reason. He tells Joey to, like, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Poor Joey is not picking up on the social cues here. And this guy clearly has, like, a lot of pent-up anger. Because he's not, like, smashed... Like, he's chopping the wood, but not, like, into, like, logs or, like, anything. Yeah. He is just, like, using it as, like, an outlet.
Yeah.
To get his anger out. And Joey keeps talking to him and annoying him. And Vic stabs him in the back with the axe. And it's quite shocking, I think. I was like, damn, I felt so bad for this poor kid.
Yeah.
We see that Vic has been arrested and Joey has died. 2 paramedics show up to take the body away. And one paramedic is, like, egging on the other paramedic. Mm-hmm. Like, here, take a look at the body. And the guy's like, no, I don't need to see it. And he's like, oh, what are you, a pussy? And he shows him the corpse of Joey, the kid Joey.
Yeah.
And you can see that he's very clearly disturbed Roy, the other paramedic.
Yeah.
And maybe just keep the name Roy in mind going forward.
Yeah.
So that night, we're out in the woods. We meet two, like, NPC characters. Pete and Vinny, who are, like,
They're-
straight up greasers from
it's-
the movie Grease.
But it's the 80s?
It's the 80s, but they are 50s greasers.
Hey! Vinny, my car broke down. Hey, don't worry about it, Pete.
And they're, like, wearing
I gotta
the
go take a leak.
jackets and the biker hats.
Bitch, it is John Travolta.
Yes, they literally came out of the Grease Lightning dance number.
Yes. So,
And I thought these two had kind of like, they were kind of fighting like an old married couple. And
limp wrists.
I think they might be a little,
Limp wrists.
what are you, queer or something?
Well,
Pete?
sort of,
Sort of, kinda. And Pete says, well, you just fix it, Vinny. I gotta go take a crap. And Vinny goes, crap my ass. Ugh.
Ew.
I like
You
these
take a
two.
Crap? Do you get toilet paper out here?
Well, sometimes you gotta make do. Country boys make do.
I guess so. But they're greasers.
Greasers make do.
The greasers may do.
So he goes to take a shit in the woods. And we see back at the car, someone approach Vinny with like a flare
And he shoves it down his
down
throat!
his throat.
So he's dead.
And Pete comes back and he just walks right past Vinny's body, like hanging over the hood of the car.
Oh, yeah.
And I like how he's like sitting down in the driver's seat trying to turn the car on. The car broke down. I don't know if we like said that.
The car broke down, everyone.
Car broke down. And he's like, you can tell the director didn't give him any dialogue to say because he's like, rat tat tat, rat tat tat. I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna kick his ass. I'm gonna kick everybody's ass. Like, just bullshit. It's bullshit. And I love it. And the car does start up somehow. But then the killer pops up from the back seat and slices Pete's neck with a machete. Could it be
Jason?
Jason? The next morning, Tommy wakes up in a cold sweat and he hallucinates seeing Jason behind him in the mirror. Oh, but it was just a vision. I blinked and everything's fine. We get a cute scene of Reggie, little Reggie, is talking to his gramps and says, can I visit my brother tomorrow?
Yeah.
And Gramps is like, sure. And he goes to give him a kiss on the forehead. And Reggie goes, oh, Gramps, you can't kiss me in front of all the other people. And Gramps is like, oh, hey, it's cool. I thought that was really cute.
Aww.
They have a sweet relationship. And they make the table for breakfast. And Vi, who I like her, she's my favorite girl who is at this camp. Mm-hmm. She's the one who is goth. Mm-hmm. And she's just listening to her headphones all the time on her Walkman. And they all call her out because she accidentally set too many plates at the table now that Joey has died. And
She's always listening to her headphones, kind of like Mila Kunis and
in Black Swan.
Black Swan.
Yes. She's always like, what? Huh?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I was listening to The Killers.
The Killers. That's what we always said.
Oh, sorry. I was listening to The Killers. It's the 80s.
And she's like, oh, sorry, I didn't fucking
Sorry, I was listening to
know.
Billy Idol.
Her style is very goth, very punk, very Madonna.
Yes.
And I noticed on this viewing, later when we see her bedroom, she has a huge Madonna poster on the wall.
She's Madonna's girl.
So, very, very
Material girl!
She is the material girl. So, we meet this shithead guy named Eddie, he's only there to just be horny. He jump scares Tommy wearing one of his masks that Tommy made.
And Tommy beats the shit out of him.
Just beats the shit out of this boy in like a rage. Damn.
But you know what? Eddie kind of deserved
He
it.
definitely deserved it. Yeah. Don't fuck with somebody who has PTSD. We're
Then
at
we
Ethel's
see-
house.
Yes, and
Her house, can we describe her house?
it's a shithole.
Just the dirtiest, nastiest piece of garbage I've ever seen.
It's just a shithole. There's no other way to describe it but a shithole. And she calls Junior a big dildo. Eat your fucking slop.
You big dildo, eat your fucking slop. The stew that she's making, like, what is she doing? She's
Throwing everything but the kitchen sink in there.
literally, and she's like chopping this chicken up and just putting the like raw chicken parts like up in the stew. Like, what?
The
is
whole
going
chicken.
on?
And then some random man shows up, like looking for food, and she's like, "Who the fuck are you? And what the fuck do you want?"
What the fuck do you want? And he goes, I haven't eaten in days. Can I do a job for you and be paid in dinner? And she's like, well, you can clean all this shit out of my chicken coop, and then I'll feed your belly. And then he leaves to go do it, and she's like, that is one ugly motherfucker coming around here. I love her.
And we kind of like he does come back, but he plays zero significance in the story.
This guy.
So it's like this movie could have done completely without him.
Him just being like, I haven't eaten in days. Like,
It's so
bitch,
weird.
Who are you? Okay, so we see the police find the bodies of the greasers, our gay greasers, and deduce that there must be a serial killer. Could it be Jason? That night.
And then this guy.
I love these two.
two new NPCs.
Two new NPCs show up.
This guy named Billy pulls up to this little diner where we meet Lana Del Rey. It's her working at the Waffle House.
It's Lana Del Rey.
When I was a waitress.
Wearing a white dress. It's
No,
very
but do
that.
you remember when she worked at Waffle House like recently?
Yes.
This is her working at the Waffle House.
This is literally footage
and
of Lana Del Rey.
I like this scene.
No, but her name's Lana.
Lana.
She's a waitress at this like diner. She's a total bimbo. I love her.
And he's like, hey, I'm going to take you on a date. And she's like, let me see if Lana's available.
Lana. Billy is here. And she says, well, she wants to know what you want. And he goes, I would like one Lana with nothing on her. I love the way he talks. To go. And, yeah, he's just this, like, greaseball mustache guy. I love him. They're wanting to just do coke together. That's the whole thing. That's
and
the
party.
mission. And
They want to party and bullshit.
she goes inside. She's like, let me just get ready.
She's putting on her lipstick. She gets her titties out.
Yeah, she goes,
changes.
it's showtime! And she flashes her titties at herself in the mirror.
And then meanwhile, Billy's doing his cocaine and acting coked out.
Uh-huh. I love it. He is doing a bump, and we cut back to Lana
And we get a jump scare. This one kind of got me, though.
It was like a
Because
crashing
we heard crashing.
sound.
That didn't get me. But then she goes out after getting changed and ready, putting on her lipstick. And a kitty jumps out and scares her.
Kitty, you scared me.
And it scared me.
Yeah. And Billy's out doing his bump, but then
And he starts leaning on the horn like, Lana, let's fucking go.
He sticks his head out of the car to
And
yell
gets-
for her.
Axed in the back of the head.
Yep. He gets his head chopped off. Well, it kind of plows into the back of, you're right.
Oh, wait.
That's what I said. Lana comes out to the car. She can't find him, but she does see the coke laying out.
She's like, ooh.
So she goes
She's
to
like, you're
take
gonna go broke.
her bump. Yeah, you're gonna go broke if you just leave it out here. I really like Lana. Whoever played Lana, I can tell she's having a good time.
And then
She sees the killer standing there. Like, she sees his feet, like, kind of outside the car.
Yeah.
She freaks out and she tries to escape. And the moment she steps out of the car and turns
he's
around.
right there and stabs her in the tummy.
In the tummy.
And she is
Dun-dun.
by Lana Del Rey.
Diva down.
When I was a waitress.
Wearing
a
a
white
tight dress. Down at the, what's this place called? Down at the Pinehurst Mental Facility.
Every house.
Jason, he was killing me. The next day at the police station, we kind of get this camp scene. We have the mayor of the town, very Italian-American man, doing kind of like this hand motion.
Uh-huh.
And he's yelling with the sheriff of the town, who's also smoking a cigar and being very Italian-American. Mm-hmm. And Sheriff Tucker says very dramatically, he says, I think it's Jason. Jason Voorhees. And while he's, like, puffing on his cigar, like, all cuntily. Mm-hmm. And the mayor goes, here's your Jason Voorhees. And he takes the ashtray and he pours all the ashes out all over the floor. Now, let me ask you something. Who was supposed to clean that up? Then he shatters, he like throws the ashtray and like,
Stop making a mess. Somebody has to clean that, you know.
Yeah. The poor janitor that works at this police station.
You
I
fucking
swear.
asshole.
And you know they're not getting paid enough for this shit.
No.
Okay, so back at the camp, we see horny Eddie and horny Tina.
Run up and fuck in the woods. And you can tell this was a porn director.
Yeah, because this sex scene was kind of wild. It was like
Sex.
basically just a porn scene.
Yeah.
And apparently the director, this was the scene that he like really cared about.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. And then we see somebody watching them, but it's not the killer. It's that random starving guy that cleaned the chicken shit.
Yeah.
And he gets killed by the killer.
Yeah. With like a machete.
And then Eddie's like, I'm going to go wash off. She's
Yeah.
like, okay.
And she's like sitting there with like titties full out. And the killer appears with some garden shears.
And stabs right into her eyes.
And like kind of chops her head, basically.
Yeah.
But it's all off screen.
Yeah.
Like
she like
most
opens her eyes and goes,
Like most of the kills in this movie, just kind of off screen, which I always think is.
and then Eddie comes back.
Yes.
I thought we were gonna get ass. I thought we were gonna see his ass.
I know.
in
I
this
thought we were
movie.
gonna see
And we
this.
don't.
Too.
There's no male nudity in this.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the '80s, girl.
Boo.
He rolls her body over and discovers that her eyes have been cut in. And he starts freaking out, but the killer pops out with like a leather band or like
And
a
like
belt or
wraps him
something.
around a tree and basically like fractures his skull.
His skull, like where his eyes are. Ugh. That was my favorite death of the movie. For
It was
sure.
gruesome.
It was super gnarly. I loved it. Okay, so that night, Gramps sends little Reggie off with Pam. She's going to take him to go visit
And they
his
take
brother.
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy is still not doing well. He hasn't talked to anybody. The last time we saw him, he beat the shit out of that one guy just for pranking him.
Yeah.
So
And now Eddie's dead.
And yeah, that was the guy who was just killed. But
So I guess
she is
we're getting.
like,
I thought the whole time you're kind of supposed to think it's Tommy.
I think that's maybe what they wanted to go with.
That's
We'll
the
talk
only
about
vibe because I mean when the reveal happens, I'm like, oh, okay.
it. We'll talk about it, yeah. So they drive to this truck stop. This is my other favorite character. We meet Demon, Reggie's brother,
Yeah.
who lives in a Scooby-Doo van. Now, fun fact, Stevie, he also not only lives in a Scooby-Doo van, he was in motherfucking Scooby-Doo 2002, the live action.
Who was he?
He is the guy, the voodoo ritual guy, who tells Daphne purple is the fall color. It's the middle of May.
Hey, it's so true.
So I love him. He's amazing. And even though he looks all tough, he's dressed like he came out of the Michael Jackson Thriller video.
Cause this is Thriller.
He's actually really sweet, though. He's a good older brother.
Yeah.
He
Offers
offers
them
him enchiladas.
enchiladas.
But he's also like, if you don't have enchiladas, I mean, I got everything else. I got Chinese food. I got this. I got that. He has like every kind of food you could possibly imagine. And Reggie said, where'd you get all this cool stuff? And then he goes, where did you get that? And the camera pans over and we see what he's talking about is Anita.
She's gorgeous.
She's so gorgeous. She kind of looks like Janet Jackson. a little
Yes.
bit. Yeah.
She is so fucking pretty.
Such a baddie. And this is obviously Demon's girlfriend who's just smoking a doob
Joint.
in the backseat. And Reggie's like, hello, beautiful. And gives like a big beaming smile. It kind of reminded me of Corey in Not So Raven whenever he'd see Chelsea.
Yes.
And then he introduces Pam. He says, oh, this is Pam. She's my girlfriend. Which I thought was cute. Tommy, who did not want to go socialize.
Junior shows up and like approaches him.
And just starts like harassing him for no reason.
Yeah. And so Tommy kicks his ass.
Kicks his ass. And Pam has to interfere and like stop him, but Tommy runs off into the woods.
And then Pam and Reggie have to leave to go get him.
To go find him.
And then Demons gets the runs from the
Them
enchiladas.
damn enchiladas. And I love his little like scooch that he does out, like his little
He's
stutter.
like, ooh.
Ooh, out to the outhouse. And he goes to take a gnarly shit.
Diarrhea.
Just
Like, his asshole is being blown out. Like, it's like when you get a little too bold, you're like, no, my tummy can handle that Taco Bell. And then the next day, you're like, ooh, I regret that Taco Bell.
Blowing ass.
Like, you're like, ooh, you might want to shower after.
He's gonna need a shower after this poop. 100%. And the outhouse starts shaking. Is it the killer? No, it's just his girlfriend, Anita. She's just messing with him. And I love this because they start singing to each other.
Ooh, baby,
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
And then if you notice, you do hear her at one point go,
oh?
I heard like a gasp.
Yeah.
And then like, doesn't respond to him.
He doesn't notice at first because he's like singing. And I love how he's still pooping this whole time.
He's like, ooh, baby.
But then the outhouse starts shaking again. This time very violently. Demon comes out and he sees Anita's body. Diva down.
And he can't open the door all the way. He can't open the door all the way.
The door's been barricaded. He's in there and the killer stabs him through the outhouse wall repeatedly. All over his body. Demon down. I was so sad. I love Demon. And then we see Pam and Reggie. They're back at the camp, and we learn that everyone is missing except for Jake, who I think we're just now meeting. I don't remember him from any of the earlier
he has a
seasons.
stutter. Vi, the girl who looks like
Madonna.
And then Robin, the redhead.
Yeah, redhead with like big 80s hair. Yeah. Pam leaves them
because Matt went to look for Eddie and Tina.
Right. So she's like, okay, well, let me go look for them.
Matt.
And she leaves the kids in charge to look after little Reggie.
Yep.
We cut back to Ethel's house.
And I love this scene. Junior shows up on his motorcycle just screaming.
Raging. He's doing like circles in the yard.
And I knew it was coming the whole time. Then Ethel's in the house being like, I'm making your dinner.
Come get your stew. You dildo.
Dumbass.
She's always calling him like a dildo.
You dumbass.
And the killer swings his machete out and decapitates Junior.
Well, he's running on his motorcycle. And I knew it was going to happen. Like, you kept waiting for it. And I was like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We hear somebody come into the house. And Ethel's like, oh, finally, now you're in here. Come get your stew, stupid. Oh, you ain't got nothing to say? You speak English or you dumb? And then all of a sudden, through the window, smashes a hand and...
She gets stabbed. And her head plops into the stew. Diva down.
R.I.P. Ethel.
I love her. Honestly, like, maybe my favorite NPC of all horror. She's so iconic. And she will be missed. Okay, so we see Pam. Her truck breaks down in the woods, so she has to continue on foot. Back at the camp, we've got Jake, Stutter Kid, and Robin, Redhead Girl. They're watching
a movie.
A scary movie.
Jake confesses that he has romantic feelings for Robin, but she is not into it, and she starts laughing at him.
She laughs at him. What the fuck? That's so mean. And he's embarrassed. And he goes upstairs. And he tries to talk to Vi, who is like jamming in her bedroom to music. And he's like, Vi, I want to talk to you. And she takes her headphones off and she goes, can it wait? And I just love her vibe. Like, good for her.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not really here for that.
No, let me just listen to my music. So now that he's been rejected twice by two girls, Jake goes out to the hallway all sad. And the killer appears and he gets stabbed off screen.
Again.
Robin leaves Reggie asleep down on the couch. And she goes up to her room. Now, and we can see she's feeling kind of sorry for what she did.
Yeah.
She gets her teddies out for no reason. And she gets into the top bunk. And she discovers Jake's body lying there next to her.
And then the killer machetes her through the mattress.
Which this happens in every Friday the 13th movie. Someone's going to be laying in the bed, and the killer stabs them up through the mattress. And the first person who was killed this way was Kevin Bacon in the first Friday the 13th movie.
Wow.
Fun fact. We cut to Vi. This is like one of my favorite scenes.
She's jamming.
She's
out.
doing this robot dance. This shit is so funny.
Yeah, she's like just like moving like a robot to the beat of the music,
And it goes on for so long. We're watching her whole robot routine, and she doesn't even notice because she's so like into her choreography that the killer sneaks into her room. And she keeps going. She's like, "Hello? Oh, I guess no one's there." She turns the music back on and starts doing her robot dance. We see him sneak up behind her and he chokes her out. And then he machetes her through the stomach.
Stabs her.
Downstairs, Reggie gets up and he goes upstairs to go to his bedroom. And he discovers all of the bodies
in the room.
So this poor kid is completely traumatized.
And then Pam happens to show up at that time.
She finally just pops up.
And she goes and sees all the bodies,
All
so
the bodies.
she's traumatized.
Yeah. She grabs Reggie and they make a run down the stairs and he trips and she's like, "Get up! Get up!" Like, damn.
He's like, my
bitch.
fucking knee!
Yeah, like, damn.
And then Jason, and I did not get this, he smashes through the front door, but I was like, he was already in the house?
Yeah. Jason does shit like that. He just likes to show off, I guess. But yeah, this is Jason, the iconic killer from the Friday the 13th franchise with his hockey mask. He smashes through the door and he chases them out the back door and into the storm. They run through the woods and they stumble upon a patrol car.
And the patrolman's dead.
Yeah, his body like rolls out the front seat.
And Jason's there.
And Reggie lets out like a great horror movie scream.
Yeah.
It was like a screech. I loved it.
And then they kind of get, Pam and Reggie kind of get separated while they're running away.
And she finds Matt, the owner of the camp. His body is
Killed. He was stabbed into a tree or
like
something.
impaled in a tree. She makes her way back to the camp house, and as she's walking around inside,
Gramps' body gets thrown through the window.
Not Gramps.
I was sad. It was so sad. He
That was
deserved
fucked
that.
up.
And then she runs towards like a barn.
Mm-hmm.
And Reggie comes crashing out of the barn.
With like a
Tractor.
or whatever the fuck that's called.
And saves Pam because she was about to get, like, she tripped and was about to get killed by Jason. And then he comes on the slowest tractor on earth and Jason doesn't get out of the way. It gets hit.
And yep.
But they don't run over him, which big mistake.
Mm-hmm. Because as we see, Jason, of course, isn't dead. He wakes back up and he starts pursuing them into the barn. Pam finds a chainsaw in this like supply closet and she jump scares Jason.
She cuts his arm.
And she cuts into his arm and they have this showdown. But the chainsaw dies. The battery dies. So she starts climbing up to the rafters where Reggie has climbed up to.
Yeah.
And Tommy finally shows up. Where the fuck have you been, bitch? And he has a standoff with Jason. And
he just kind of literally stands there.
And goes, Jason? Jason. Like, what do you think he's gonna do? Because Jason, of course, like, approaches him and slices down his chest. So Tommy falls to the ground, but he manages to stab
him
Jason
with a pocket
in the leg.
knife.
Tommy climbs up to the rafters, and then Jason follows him up there. And Tommy seemingly falls over and dies, but we know he's playing dead.
Yeah.
And Reggie and Pam are nowhere to be seen. But then Jason discovers Pam and Reggie hiding, and they have a showdown with Jason, which leads to Reggie jumping out and shoving Jason over the edge of this barn.
Like out the window, like from the upper level.
And we see down below, there was this thing that had all these spikes coming off of it.
They're trying to like impale him.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, did he die? Big jump scare. He actually didn't die. He's holding on to the ledge.
So he grabs a hold of Reggie.
Yeah, he grabs onto Reggie's foot. I thought this was a really tense scene.
Yeah.
For a Friday the 13th movie. I really liked this.
Luckily, Tommy wakes up. He grabs the machete and he cuts off Jason's hand, saving Reggie. And Jason falls and gets impaled.
But then
it ain't Jason.
His mask falls off. And we see it's this random guy. So you're like, who the fuck is this? Okay. Stevie, let's try to explain the twist.
We cut to Pam and Reggie. They're in the hospital. And the police explains to Pam that the killer was actually, well, duh, Roy.
Roy. Stevie, who the fuck is Roy? Riddle me that. Do you remember Roy?
No, but apparently...
I don't remember Roy. No one remembers fucking Roy.
No, but apparently Roy was one of the 2 paramedics who appeared earlier when Joey died.
Joey died.
And we learned Joey was Roy's son.
Okay, yeah.
And seeing his son killed traumatized him.
And made him want to get revenge on...
Because he had an obsession with the killings Jason did. Because they found a bunch of newspaper clippings in his possession.
Yeah. But... So he
It's
wants to
not-
kill everybody else except for the guy who killed his son? That Vic guy? It's not adding up to me. I don't like it.
It reminds me a lot of when we watched I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes.
And the killer gets revealed, and you and I both looked at each other, went, who?
Who? Yeah, it's that. We needed more scenes of Roy.
Roy. There wasn't enough of Roy.
Because what the fuck?
We got 2 scenes, I think.
Yeah. And I guess this was because in the middle of this franchise, they had just killed off Jason. And they didn't have any plans to bring him back. They were like, we'll just roll with it. So.
Anyways.
Well, whatever that means.
Okay. Whatever that means.
We see a very stressed out and completely traumatized Pam.
Visits Tommy.
She goes to visit Tommy in his hospital room.
And he pulls out a machete and stabs her.
Yeah.
But it was all a dream.
This is the movie of it was all a dream.
And then Tommy wakes up in the hospital and everything's fine. But then he sees Jason standing there, but he's not really there.
Yeah, he kind of like just evaporates. It's like it was just a vision.
But then the Jason mask and knife are on his bedside table. And so he takes them.
Yeah.
And then we see Pam entering the room.
Well, she's out in the hallway and she hears a crash. And she enters the room and the window's been smashed open and Tommy's missing. And she's like, what the fuck? Then Tommy appears behind her, now wearing the Jason mask and holding the knife. And it ends. The end. Well, whatever that means.
So, like, I was so confused. I was like, so was it Tommy the whole time?
We will never know. And the next movie completely ignored this whole movie and retconned it. And it is no longer part of the continuity.
I love it.
I love it. And it's so good. Like, did it make any sense? No. Did it have a script?
No. Did it have direction? No.
But, like, I love it.
It's so dumb.
It's so good. And that's it.
That's it, everyone. That is Friday the 13th, part
5. A new beginning.
And
they had to
the
make
end.
another new beginning after this new beginning.
That's the end of it, too. This is a short episode, too. Damn.
Hell yeah. We love to see it. So yeah, I would say give it a watch if you want crackhead energy.
It's stupid.
And
It's fucking
if you like
stupid.
just like weird, if you like Sleepaway Camp 1, I think you'll really like this movie.
Yeah.
Because it's actors making weird choices and we love to see it. We love to see it.
It's so strange. It's such a strange film. It's wild.
So next week, we're going to do a classic. Another 80s slasher, since we're kind of on this tangent right now. We're going to do Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. So I'm excited. That one's, I mean, a classic. What can you say?
Classic. Well, there's a lot to say.
There is a lot to say. So we will discuss that next week.
But anyways,
Yes,
we
I hope you had fun
hope you
with
all
us.
had a wonderful time with us at Pinehurst Youth Development Center.
Oh, such an iconic landmark in horror movies.
When I think iconic horror movie locations, I always think Pinehurst Youth Development Center.
Oh,
I got a bomb on me.
Please remember to follow the pod, like the pod, and leave a glowing review of the pod, of course. We are at Let's Scream Pod on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok.
And you can also follow me at Stevie Nash 95 on Instagram.
Yes, and you can follow me at Parker_Will_C on Instagram. And until next time, this has been
Let's Scream. Bye.